it looks like I just woke up, that's because I did. So don't judge me. It's like what? It's barely 8 a.m. Yeah, that's what I'm working with right now. Stayed up all night. Haven't slept yet.
She said she too young, don't want no man. So she gon' call her friends, now that's a plan. I just ordered sushi from Japan. Now yo bitch wanna kick it, Jackie Chan.
What's up everybody, Master Josh back again for another video. This video is basically about talking about, I don't even know, if a sequel for Majora's Mask is actually worth it, or like if there should be one, because I recently literally found this article that is titled Why a Majora's Mask 2 should be Nintendo's next Zelda game. I also found out that there's another article that says Breath of the Wild 2 can be very influenced by Majora's Mask. So that's there too. Oh yeah! And I thought to myself, you know what? I don't know. So basically Majora's Mask came out 20 years ago. It came out for the N64 in 2002. Did I really just say 2002? I knew that it was 2000. What an idiot! Oh my god. And then was re-released for the new Nintendo 3DS XL in 15 years later. So the article, you probably see a picture of it right now. I have no idea if my editing can do that right now. But it says, Majora's Mask was originally misunderstood, but as time passed, the title has become one of the most beloved Zelda games, and a sequel could be great. The Legend of Zelda series just went through a radical shift with the recent release of Breath of the Wild, and it likely will again with its upcoming sequel. But Nintendo's now cult classic, Majora's Mask, is 20 years old, and another take on its original ideas could shake up the formula even more than a Breath of the Wild 2. The most recent Zelda game introduced gamers to a bold, open Hyrule, in which the player had complete control over what they did and when they did it. Alright, so basically the rest of this article, or one section of this article, basically sums up what Majora's Mask is, and if any of you have not played Majora's Mask, or seen someone play it, or owned it, I don't know. Spoiler alert, I'll put the time of this video that you can come back to, or you can just like skip to if you haven't played or watched someone play Majora's Mask. But basically it reads, The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask takes place in an alternate reality of Hyrule known as Termina. And after he stumbles into it, Link is tasked with returning the 4 guardian giants of the land to catch the moon from crashing into the world and destroying it. Gameplay-wise, this puts the player on a 3-day time limit in which the astral rock of despair looming above the landscape grows closer with each consecutive tick-tock. Players need to conquer dungeons, aid civilians in various quests, and explore the world, all while paying very close attention to their clocks at the bottom of the screen. Even though the timer can be both slowed down and reset at the cost of deleting side quest progress, this main gameplay mechanic alienated Zelda fans back in the day because of just how different it all felt from the classic Ocarina of Time. So basically, if there were to be a sequel to Majora's Mask, it would probably be, because also spoiler alert for Twilight Princess, and I think this counts as spoiler alert, but if you haven't watched the game theory about Link supposedly being dead in that game, which actually kind of makes sense, but then over time I kept watching and I was like, you know what, it kind of doesn't. But then I watched it again. I watched it again recently and I was like, you know what, this makes more sense now, because now that I know more about death, because I'm freaking... But... Oh yeah, he explains, and it's actually proven by Hyrule Historia and the creators of Zelda, that the hero shade from Twilight Princess is actually the hero of time. Dead. Yes. So, basically, if there were to be a sequel to Majora's Mask, which I'm sure Nintendo's not gonna do, unless they just randomly like shoot a trailer at us randomly at like a E3 or something. If they were to do that, it would probably be explaining what happens after Link takes off. Because spoiler alert again for the people who haven't played Majora's Mask, you can skip to this time that's on the bottom of the screen. In the end, if you right before the credits, I think during the credits, I forgot. No, it's after the credits. It's after the screen credits, and then it goes into like the main credits, like black screen, credits roll down. But that transition from credit to credit, it shows like different parts of the world, you know, different parts of Termina, like everything that's going on, like everything is fixed, everything is happy, everybody is good. 2 people get married. If you did that side quest, you know it was them too. At the end, it shows Link riding off on Epona into the forest, and it's explained again by the creators. I don't own a Hyrule Historia. I probably should get one. I should probably get the trio book, all 3 of them. But at the end of Ocarina of Time, if you like wait to see the entire cutscene. All right. Watching this video, I forgot to say spoiler alert earlier, so spoiler alert for the ending of Ocarina of Time. I think it appears after credits or before credits, but you could see Link in the Temple of Time as a child putting the Master Sword in, and then it just pans out like just far away, and it follows Navi, which was his companion for the entire game, to just to go off. Like she just abandons Link, and then I searched it up why, so I can prepare for this video, and apparently Navi couldn't bear to know that it, cause the Deku Tree, who, spoiler alert, if anybody hasn't played Ocarina of Time, even though it's been out for literally 22 years, what are you doing? Get the game, 3DS or N64 or GameCube, it doesn't matter. Get the Wii substitute, I don't really care, just play the game. Navi was tasked to help Link fulfill his destiny, and at the end, she did that. So she abandoned him because she couldn't bear to witness, if she died when she was with Link, she couldn't bear to witness and feel what he would feel if he knew that she died. So basically, she just left him so she can leave him in peace or something. So then that transitions into Majora's Mask. He's on this journey to go find Navi, and they explain it in the first little text of the game. It says he's taking on a journey to find a beloved friend, I think. Alright, so it says, done with the battles he once waged across time, he embarked on a journey, a secret and personal journey. A journey in search of a beloved and invaluable friend. A friend with whom he parted ways when he finally fulfilled his heroic destiny and took his place among legends. And then it shows like the first cutscene of the game, you know, Link riding on Epona in search for Navi. He never finds her. Skull Kid. No. Tato and what's the other one's name? On Tail. Scare Epona and knock Link off. And then the Skull Kid appears, takes the Ocarina, and then keeps the Ocarina while Link chases Skull Kid. Epona and the Ocarina are stolen from Link, and then like you can buy the game, or if you own it, you can just replay it or play it finally if you just bought the game. And then like that transitions into the actual gameplay, which you can in probably October I'll start playing Majora's Mask if I can figure something out. I don't know. I'm still debating with myself on that. But yeah, that transitions into the actual gameplay. And then it says right here in the article, I haven't really talked about the article in this video, holy crap. But it says Majora's Mask time mechanics should return to Zelda. So basically, you had a 3-day time limit, which basically, if you slow down time, would be 3 hours, more or less, like 3.5 hours. But it says times have changed in the Zelda community, though, and a sequel to Majora's Mask may be a great way to keep the series going. When the original came out, fans simply wanted more Ocarina of Time, and after installments like Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword delivered that style of Zelda yet again, the fans were ready for a change. A Link Between Worlds and Breath of the Wild were both such widely respected and beloved entries in the Zelda franchise, because they shook up the formula at a time in which the fans were craving a change, and adding the formula of Majora's Mask now may just resonate with Nintendo's current audience. So, what that section basically said, if you couldn't figure it out by now, which I feel like I'm rambling on right now, but basically it just means that people want, or some people want the legacy of Ocarina of Time to live on, because sometimes like games like Zelda 2, which everybody thinks is garbage, I myself haven't played it, so I have no idea. I'm looking on Amazon for an NES Classic. They're like more than an Elgato capture card. I don't even know. But I can't say anything for myself because again I haven't played it. But basically, that game was rated the worst ever in Zelda. So like that game's like dead. Nobody talks about it anymore. Like very little people play it. I know my cousins play it because they have an NES Classic. I played it once. I played the beginning once. I played the beginning of Zelda 1 and Zelda 2. But that's when they came over and they brought it, but then they left, so I couldn't finish either game. So that game is like dead. Everybody forgot about it, and then it was recently brought up, and some people were like hating on it forever, and then now it's dead again. So the fans of Ocarina of Time don't want that to happen, and the fans of Majora's Mask don't want that to happen. So they want to keep that legacy going on of those two games, which are rated the best in the series. I personally like Twilight Princess, but I wouldn't rate it the best in the game. I don't think there is a best in the series game for Zelda. I think they're all like unique in its own style. You know, Majora's Mask, you have a time limit. Ocarina of Time, you can switch from adult to a kid through 7 years. You know, saying that, it actually makes sense if they were to release a sequel. Because, you know, now that in the ending, where Because in the ending of Ocarina of Time, where he puts in the Master Sword, he's not asleep for 7 years anymore. Like, he's a kid. He can live on the rest of his life, like, as a normal child, you know, just having, like, a legend told by him. And then Wind Waker, you know, Link in Wind Waker is the descendant of the Ocarina of Time Link. When that's the adult timeline, if he stays as an adult, because the timeline of Zelda, I'll put a picture up so you guys can see it. It's basically, what is the timeline? And here I don't really know the timeline that well because I never like paid attention to it. Okay, so basically it starts off with Skyward Sword. It would make sense. Let me actually go back to what this video is mainly about. Because I literally just talked about the timeline for 15 minutes. It would make sense if there was a sequel for Majora's Mask, because those 7 years he was asleep in game, but post game he spends those 7 years doing what? Looking for Navi. And then what starts Majora's Mask? The 7 years that we never saw. So maybe he did something else in there. Or maybe, since he's a hero shade from Twilight Princess, they show what he did after Majora's Mask. Because apparently, Majora's Mask is all about Dabda, which if you haven't watched that game theory video, I'll put an iCard up there. It basically talks about, you know, like the 5 stages of grief, you know, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. That's all in the game. You know, denial, everybody's in denial that the moon's gonna crash into the world. Anger, the Deku King is angry at a monkey for accusing it of kidnapping the Deku Princess. Bargaining, the hero, the Goron hero, Darmani, is asking Link to bring him back to life with Song of Healing, but he only then lets him rest peacefully by giving him the Goron Mask. And then depressed, Darmani's depressed because he realizes that Link can't do anything to help him. And then it goes into acceptance, which basically has you, I don't know how to explain it. It's Stone Tower Temple. You're going upside down and you're falling into the heavens. If you fall into the void, that's falling into the heavens, because you know you turn the world upside down. Stone Tower Temple has you accepting that you cannot find your friend, and has you accepting that you're basically dead, and that you can now like rest peacefully, like being dead. You're accepting that, and you can like finally just rest peacefully. Like, there's nothing in your mind. Like, you're done. You created a legend for others to follow, other links to come, and you have a legacy, and it will live on for years and years, tens of thousands of years. And then at the end, he's seen riding off into the forest, which they explain in Ocarina of Time if you actually do the Bigorn Sword side quest, the trading sequence. This girl from Kokiri Forest gives you a saw that you give to the boss carpenter in Gerudo Valley. You know, if you did this trading sequence, if you own Ocarina of Time. He owns a saw. This girl from Ocarina of Time, this Kokiri, this female Kokiri gives you the saw. But she also says, oh, he got lost in the Lost Woods and became a Stalfos. Anybody who gets lost in the Lost Woods becomes a Stalfos. And if you pay attention to the hero shade, which is proven by the creators, which I said earlier in this video, is the hero of time the same person, but dead, and like he was a knight. He's a Stalfos now. So he became a Stalfos when he's seen riding off into the woods, probably a section of the Lost Woods that we never saw because the only other section of the Lost Woods was the Sacred Forest Meadow in Ocarina of Time. So maybe that's another section that we never knew about and we never visited again because there's only one way in and no way out. Because he's trapped in Termina until he's seen riding off in the end because he figures out how to get out. I don't know. There's a glitch to go back, but you know. It's only in N64 and I own the 3DS version, so awesome. But he's accepted his fate, dead or alive. It's not proven. Again, the game theory video was an iCard a little bit ago, and that kind of sums up my reasoning for there being a sequel to Majora's Mask, because they never explain, like in any of the later Zelda games, the hero of time, literally, they don't say, oh, the hero of time became a knight and he fought in the what was it again? He fought in the Twilight era. He fought in the Twilight era and then died and then taught the lessons that he learned over time to the hero of Twilight, Link from Twilight Princess. No, they don't say any of that. They don't even say that the hero Shade is the hero of time. You literally have to figure that out on your own. And then, or before like the timeline was created, Twilight Princess came out in 2006, 14 years ago. You had to figure that out on your own, that the hero Shade was the hero of time, because in Majora's Mask, the Happy Mask Salesman, some point in the game, says believe in your strengths, and the hero Shade says believe in your strengths also. So if you remember that very small detail, you would know, you would have figured out very easily that the hero Shade is the hero of time. That literally sums up everything for me. Literally, I'm learning more about Zelda in this video than I ever knew before making this video. So I'm kind of glad that I made this literally 41-minute video. But yeah, that's basically it for this video. I don't think there's anything else to talk about. I don't know if that's the end of the article anyway. Yeah, there's one more section in the article that I'm going to read right now. It says, a sequel to Majora's Mask does not necessarily mean a new game with an interconnected storyline of the original, but rather a new installment that takes the ideas from the original and does something new with them. Imagine if Breath of the Wild 2 used a time limit system much like Majora's Mask and took place in a more condensed overworld. Exploring the world in whatever fashion is still entirely up to the player, but now the player needs to consider time when exploring areas. It could be an excellent addition to the new formula that Breath of the Wild adopted, since modern Zelda fans are overall more open to the big changes a game like Majora's Mask 2 might bring. That's the end of the article. Like, they're basically saying, a sequel to Majora's Mask could just be Breath of the Wild 2, but with time limit, and you have to keep track of your time while also finishing the game. But if you had a time limit, how would you go back to finish the game? Because Breath of the Wild 2 had no instruments. Breath of the Wild 2 only had a very realistic day and night cycle, or you could just like find a campsite, or like make a campsite. Something that I didn't freaking notice while recording was that I kept saying Breath of the Wild 2. I meant Breath of the Wild. My god, I'm so stupid. And sleep. Until whatever. Day, moon, night, morning, noon, night, evening, whatever. It doesn't matter. And there's also blood moons, which happens every 3 hours that you play the game. But it basically means that they can put some ideas that they never could in Majora's Mask into Breath of the Wild 2. Which would probably, because Eiji Aonuma, which he works with Zelda. He works on Zelda. he works with the entire franchise, said in an interview, and I quote, "Breath of the Wild 2 will be darker than Majora's Mask and Twilight Princess." End of quote. So, maybe they could make it even more darker by adding some of the dark things that they could never in Majora's Mask to Breath of the Wild 2. That could be the sequel. But they don't name it Majora's Mask 2. Just like they probably won't name Breath of the Wild 2 Breath of the Wild 2. Because Zelda 2, which is what people call it, is not necessarily called Zelda 2. It's called The Adventure of Link, which is really dumb because it's called The Legend of Zelda. What are you doing, Nintendo? What were you doing? What were you thinking? But still. Yeah, that basically sums it up for me and for anybody who actually watched to the end of this video. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe. All the links to basically my YouTube squad will be there. You know, Rezarts, Elijah, Jerry, me, all four of us are there. I'm actually working on getting a capture card. Like, it's not like, oh, one of the best ones, you're getting an Elgato. No, I'm getting like a tiny one where I can like, not a tiny one, like this thing that I just stick into the console. It's kind of, it looks kind of like a USB. Let me see if I can find it. It's on Amazon. But yeah, it kind of looks like, there's two. One that literally looks like a USB and one that looks kind of like an Elgato, you know, like literally like this remote but flatter and like this, like just cut off this part and make it flat, like a little bit flatter, and that's my capture card that I want and that I might get and that I'm working to get. But you know what, my feet are like falling, my feet are asleep. I'm gonna end this video already. Alright, if you guys enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell so you can get notified every time I upload a video. Or go live. I'm actually working on going live because, you know what, I decided that I don't care what you guys say. I'm doing the next episode of Ocarina of Time live. I don't know if I'm going to do it on Twitch or YouTube, probably both. I'll figure something out. But stay tuned for that. That's coming soon. I'm going to do it whenever I can get a capture card. Probably in October, I don't know, because like it's gonna take a long time. But that is it. See you guys in the next video. Watch my other videos too. You know, my videos are doing surprisingly well now, and it's all because of you guys. So thank you for that. All right, goodbye everyone.